College football conference championships are basically the unofficial official ticket to the college football playoffs for that year, as if you win, you're basically in for most conferences, but not so for others. So if you are wondering how these teams are selected and more, make sure to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's your thumb, and let's go ahead and get into it. College football conference championships started in Division II in the 1980s and was brought to the SEC when they expanded from 10 teams to 12 teams. Every conference has their own way of deciding who gets to play in their conference championships, and we're only going to be talking about the Power 5 because there's actually 700 million college football conferences. But if you like this video and you want me to do a second part with the group of 5 schools, let me know. First up is the SEC. The SEC currently has 14 teams, and the way their conference is set up is they have an East Division and a West Division. And in the East is Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. And in the West is Alabama, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn, and Mississippi State. And the winners from those two divisions are the two that go and play in the conference championship, as this year it is Georgia versus LSU. But what makes the SEC really interesting is that their conference will be adding 2 more teams in 2025, as Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC. And this has caused a lot of speculation about how the conference will do with adding those 2 teams. But some people are speculating that Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC West, and that Alabama and Auburn would move to the SEC East. And other reports are saying that the SEC would break themselves into 4 divisions versus the 2 they are currently in, which would be East, West, South, and North. The Big 12 currently has 10 teams and operates with no divisions, so the top 2 teams of the overall conference move on to play in the Big 12 championship. But the Big 12 is looking into moving to divisions in the 2023 season, as the conference will be expanding to 14 teams for the next 2 years. BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF will be joining the conference, and assuming that Texas and Oklahoma honor their TV contract deals that have them in the conference until 2025. But in May 2022, the NCAA relaxed its FBS conference divisions rule and allowing participants to not have them, which could not even necessarily make them have to create these divisions, as previously the NCAA required conferences with more than 12 teams to have divisions. And in the ACC, there are 14 teams, and they do have divisions, which are Atlantic and Coastal, and the winners of those 2 divisions move on and play in the conference championship. As in the Atlantic, it is Clemson, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Florida State, NC State, Louisville, and Boston College. And in the Coastal, it is North Carolina, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Duke, Georgia Tech, Pitt, and Miami. And the 2 teams playing in the conference championship this year is Clemson and North Carolina. But in the 2023 season, the ACC will be getting rid of their division, and from the 2023 season and on, and the new schedule would have each team having a main 3 teams they play every year, and then rotating through the other 10 schools so that they play each school at least every other year. In the Big 10, they have 14 teams, and they also operate on divisions, as they have the East and the West divisions. And in the East is Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, Maryland, Rutgers, and Indiana. And in the West is Illinois, Purdue, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Northwestern, Minnesota, and Iowa. And their divisions are based on geography. And in the 2023 season, the conference is looking into getting away with their divisions, as they'll be adding USC and UCLA to their conference. But they have not officially made that decision because of their upcoming new deal with CBS, which has them looking into this. But in the first year of that deal, they'll only have 7 games on CBS, and the remaining will stay with Fox. Aside from the TV deals, something that they are concerned about is keeping the structure consistent for major matchups and postseason potential games. And in the Pac-12, they have 12 teams, which is the only conference that has the number of teams in it that is in the number of their conference, which I just think is pretty interesting. In the 2022 season, the Pac-12 got rid of their divisions and are now basing who goes to the championship by the top 2 teams with the best winning percentages moving on and playing. The Pac-12 did keep their divisions this year solely for their scheduling. Well, now that you know so much about college football conference championships, make sure to check out this video right here where I talked about how college football works and also a little bit of how the college football playoffs works as well. You can also check out this entire playlist I have right here explaining and working out how a lot of things in college football work. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which are on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as leave me a comment down below and tell me, who do you think is going to the college football playoffs from these Power 5 conference champions? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's still your thumb. And remember, don't be afraid to join the convo. Into moving to divisions in the 2023 NFL season.